The Emperor has made a critical error, and the time for our attack has come. Because we're talking Star Wars this week! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Home Media Reviews. And if you were a keen eye, and if you had a keen ear, you would have known that we're talking Star Wars this week. But if you remember what I said last week, we're not talking just Star Wars, not just A New Hope. We're talking the entire original trilogy. So if you didn't say Star Wars Original Trilogy in the comments section, if you just said Star Wars, sorry, you lose. But if you said Star Wars Original Trilogy, you win nothing. Would you think I was going to give you something physical, like a hug or something? I don't do that. So, without further ado, let's go into the history section of the original Star Wars Trilogy. Did I sound like one of those trailer, announcer guys? I'm kind of working on that voice. So, like Die Hard last week, Star Wars has a pretty extensive history on home media formats. It's pretty much been a system seller, for the most part. However, this history section is going to be a little bit weird, as we're not focusing on the individual releases of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. We're going to be focusing on when these films were packaged together into boxed sets, as Star Wars has been primarily available in boxed sets. However, when we get to something important, like the first VHS release of A New Hope or Empire or Jedi, we'll of course mention it here. But for the most part, we're just going to be talking boxed sets. So, A New Hope was, of course, released into theaters in 1977, Empire 1980, and Jedi in 1983. Those dates are pretty much common knowledge. You probably didn't even need to hear me say that. However, you probably didn't know that the original A New Hope VHS/Betamax release was in 1982. What you also might not have known was that when it was first released in 1982, it was put out to video rental stores only. You couldn't purchase Star Wars when it first came out back in 1982. You could only rent it from places like Blockbuster and such. Empire Strikes Back was first released onto VHS and Betamax in 1984, and then Return of the Jedi was first released onto VHS and Betamax in 1986. Now, the first boxed set you could purchase of this trilogy was in 1990. You're seeing a picture of it on your screen now. The way that you can tell that's a 1990 print is because of the CBS Fox logo on the side of it. Back in the early 90s, Fox was going through a bit of a name crisis. They were changing their name every couple of years. So first they were CBS Fox, and then in 1992, when this same box set was reissued, the logo was changed to Fox Video. No longer CBS Fox, now it's Fox Video. Also in 1992, you could watch these movies in widescreen for the very first time, in the special Letterboxed Collector's Edition. Now, I know I don't really talk about Laserdiscs much on this show. I think we talked about it a little bit on Jaws. However, I felt it was necessary to mention that the definitive collection Laserdisc set came out in 1993 for the Star Wars trilogy. The reason I mention that is because these Laserdisc Masters are the precedent and the, quote, catalyst for what will be used to create the THX remastered versions, which came out in 1995, another boxed set, except this time it was in full screen and in widescreen. The full screen box we'll see in the close-up, actually. I own this. It looks like a brick, and then the widescreen one looks kind of like a shoebox. It's a little bit longer. Then in 1977, 20 years after A New Hope hit theaters, we got everyone's favorite cuts of the film, the special edition boxed sets, available in both full screen and widescreen. Now you see on your screen right now, wait a minute, those are two different colors. Silver for widescreen and gold for full screen. I don't really understand the reasoning behind that, considering that gold is considered to be better than silver. Granted, the silver looks cooler than the gold, but I always thought gold was better than silver, but full screen ain't better than widescreen. The final time this trilogy would be issued onto VHS would be in 2000, and that was again both in widescreen and full screen. And the only change with the outer box and how you can tell if one set is widescreen and one is full screen is that little slipcase that goes over top of the brick. You can see in the photos on your screen right now, the widescreen one has, a full wide image at the bottom, while the full screen one has more of a boxed image. The full screen one looks cooler, but the widescreen one, that sure as hell ain't lying to you. That indeed is widescreen. 4 years after this was put out onto VHS and the start of the DVD's popularity, Star Wars, the original trilogy, was put out onto DVD in 2004, both in widescreen and in full screen. Again, they went with that same color scheme of gold for full screen, silver for widescreen. And this one came with an awesome bonus DVD that is important for later. The second time the trilogy was put out onto DVD was 1 year later in 2005, same color scheme. However, they removed that bonus disc, which kind of sucks, because that bonus disc was awesome. And they also changed the cardboard slipcover that went over the DVDs. The third time the trilogy was released onto DVD was then very next year, 2006, although this one's a little bit weird. There actually is no official boxed set of these, but I put these in here because of one, their significance, and two, there was a Best Buy collector's tin that you could purchase, or you could get free with a purchase of all three films in widescreen. Now, I say the significance of these. These are significant because they come with the unaltered cut of each of the films. You could get the special edition cut on one disc, but on the other disc, you got the unaltered version. However, these discs are really not superior, especially to today's technology, as these discs are non-anamorphic widescreen. What does that mean? It means they're letterboxed and they don't fill up on a widescreen television. They don't conform to a widescreen television, so unless you're watching on an old square tube TV, they're going to look off. But hey, it's still cool to get the original unaltered version on a disc, right? Also, they changed the color scheme for widescreen and full screen. Now, it's gold for widescreen, blue is now being used for full screen. Okay? That's definitely a different color than gold. Although the silver looked cooler, I mean, why didn't you just stick with the old format? It didn't make any sense back then either, but changing it to something that makes even less sense. Then the fourth and final time these were put out onto DVD was in 2008, and basically what this was, it was a repackage of the 2006 sets, except this was only put out in widescreen, and it had a new cardboard slipcover on it, and the cases were changed to slim cases. So, kind of cool, I guess. Also, this one's actually pretty rare, this version of the original trilogy, because not a lot of people bought this because everyone already bought the sets from 2006. Why would you need another reprint version? So this version can actually go for a pretty penny on places like eBay, especially if it's sealed. So after 2008, we heard nothing about any new home media releases for Star Wars until 2011 rolled around, when Star Wars: The Complete Saga was released onto Blu-ray. Once again, the Blu-ray format had been out for a couple of years, but Star Wars took a little time for itself. It took a while to actually get the Blu-ray transfers to look amazing. And then it came to Blu-ray a couple of years after it had been on the market. So as I said, we got the Complete Saga set. You could also get just the original trilogy in this blue box with Darth Vader's face on it. It's odd. Not really the superior version. The Complete Saga is the superior version because it has super awesome bonus discs included in it. The trilogy just on its own does not include the bonus discs. It's just the film discs. There was another Blu-ray reprint in 2013. This one is also significant as one, it wasn't a Complete Saga reprint. It was just the original trilogy and the prequels in a new package with Darth Vader on the front. However, the other reason that this is significant is because you could now get the Blu-ray cuts of Star Wars on DVD. This is a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack, something we had not seen previously. All other previous DVD releases had been of the 2004 DVD cut of the film. Because if you didn't know, Star Wars gets changed a lot. There are multiple cuts of these films out there that are just absurd in how their changes are. But from 2004 to 2008, that was the only cut that you could find on DVD, was the 2004 cut, not the original special edition from 2007, or from 1997. No, you could only get the 2004 DVD cut. However, once 2011 rolled around, the films got changed again, and now you're getting those changes on a standard definition format. So if you're a DVD person, hey, you now got the 2011 Blu-ray cuts on your stupid, crappy little DVD. Good for you. In 2015, there was a Complete Saga reissue in a less cool package. It's now in just a big Blu-ray case instead of a cool book-like Blu-ray case back in 2011. And this one now has Darth Vader on the front. It's kind of cool, I guess. New cardboard slipcover, all that standard issue stuff. We also got some steelbooks, trilogy steelbooks for prequels and the original trilogy. A New Hope had Darth Vader's face on it. Empire Strikes Back had a Stormtrooper. And Return of the Jedi had Emperor Palpatine. There is no box set of those steelbooks. I just wanted to mention them here because they're cool. To cap off this history section, in 2016, around the time for the holiday season, there was a original trilogy holiday release. It basically had a new slipcover on it that had a Stormtrooper on it. There was also a set released to coincide with that for the prequels that had Yoda. Then you also had another Complete Saga reissue with, surprise, surprise, Darth Vader on the front. You're seeing that on your screen right now. All these had simplistic poster art to them. But the other thing that's significant about them is they came with a little pack-in DVD of Forces of Destiny, which is a new Star Wars cartoon that I have not taken the time to watch because, frankly, I don't really care about it, but apparently it had never been put out on physical media before this. Here it is. You could get that in 2016, right around the time for Christmas. Good God, that's a lot of releases. And we didn't even cover all the individual VHS or DVD releases. We didn't even cover the prequels. For God's sake, that's a lot of stuff to talk about. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and transition into the close-up section of the original Star Wars trilogy. Alrighty, everybody, here's your close-up look at Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy. Now, as stated in the close-up of this video, I'm only going to be focusing on Star Wars as it was released with its other two films in the original trilogy. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is the 1995 THX Remaster Trilogy Box Set on VHS. VHS making its first debut here on the reboot of home media reviews, but this is it. Star Wars Trilogy up there at the top, digitally mastered THX down there at the bottom, Vader helmet, Death Star peeking out there with an X-Wing chasing Vader's TIE Fighter. One side features the exact same Vader face as before, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Again, another digitally mastered THX logo down there. The back features a quote by George Lucas, or a note from him. The appeal of Star Wars has gone beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I am pleased for the final video release of Star Wars in its original version. We can present it with the best sound and picture quality yet available thanks to THX digital mastering. In the years to come, I hope you, your children, and your children's children will enjoy not only this trilogy, but the adventures yet to come in the continually unfolding Star Wars universe. And then George Lucas's fake signature right there, 20th Century Fox logo, Lucasfilm logo, legalese down there at the bottom. I find this intriguing, though, because it says that this is indeed the last video release of Star Wars in its original version. And yeah, because in 1997, we would get the special edition version of Star Wars A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, and fans would simultaneously piss their pants in enjoyment and then realize that they don't like the changes. Me, myself, we'll talk about the changes later on in the wrap-up session, but to tell you the truth, not too big a fan of the special version of A New Hope. The other ones, they're okay. The other side, is where you see the tapes themselves. This whole thing is a slipcase. If we let's take out one tape at a time. The front here says Star Wars with the same Vader helmet as on the front of the slipcase. Same artwork and such. Side Fox Video, Star Wars A New Hope, Vader again, THX logo, Lucasfilm logo, the back, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, individual UPC code there. Interesting, because this is a compilation set, and there is a UPC code on the bottom here, so don't know why they didn't cover that up with a sticker. Screenshots from the film, legalese and such down at the bottom. There's what your logo looks like. Star Wars A New Hope, rating, all the good stuff. Put that there. Here's what Empire Strikes Back looks like. Got a Stormtrooper and the raid on Hoth happening on the Stormtrooper's body. That's what that looks like. Fox Video again. Stormtrooper again. This one doesn't have a UPC code. The battle continues. Same format as on A New Hope. And then the tape will also have the same format as A New Hope. And the last release, Return of the Jedi, with Yoda and the battle going on the Death Star 2. Fox Video yet again. Return of the Jedi. Yoda again. Back features the same format as before, and again, no UPC code. I find that very intriguing. Same format, and same format on the tape. So another interesting fact about this set is I did not purchase this set for myself. This set is actually my parents'. They bought this when it first came out in 1995, and I found it one day in our basement, just in a box, and they said, oh yeah, we bought that, you can have it. So I said, okay, that's cool, I guess. There is another version. I should note that these are full screen, meaning that they're 4:3 image aspect ratio, meaning they will not fill up a widescreen television. There is a widescreen version of this. It was in a shoebox style thing. It didn't come in a brick like this. Well, it actually wouldn't be a while until Star Wars got released in a set. It was released for the first time on DVD in 2004. Don't own that version. The version I have is the version from 2008, which is actually pretty rare. It's a compilation of the releases from 2006, just in a new slipcase version. So here is that. Star Wars Trilogy from 2008. Widescreen up there at the top. Vader helmet behind Luke and Vader. Some X-Wings and some TIE Fighters. Millennium Falcon being chased by TIE Fighters. Big Star Wars Trilogy right there at the front. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Digitally mastered by THX. Here's the first side. Widescreen again. Lucasfilm. All that good stuff. Other side features the exact same artwork as the front. And then here's the side where you see the actual cases. So, take these out one by one here. Here's the first one. As I said earlier, these are a repackage of the 2006 version of the Star Wars Trilogy, which means this does include the bonus disc that includes the unaltered cut. I'm doing air quotes around that because it's kind of unaltered, but not really. Widescreen, limited edition, Star Wars A New Hope. Really cool poster right there. I love that poster. Here's some Forza hairs looking a little short, though. I've always noticed how that's a little different. These are in skinnier DVD cases, so that's why they look a little odd. The back features some retro poster art, as well as blurbs about the films and what's on each of the discs. This too, of course, lists off that it has the original theatrical cut of Star Wars. This also has a Lego Star Wars 2 Xbox demo, so if you have an original Xbox, you can play a demo of that game, which is pretty awesome. Open this up here. There's your original disc that has the altered cut, and then here's the disc that has the unaltered cut on it. Here's Empire Strikes Back, widescreen, limited edition, yet again, the gold bar up there at the top. Star Wars Episode 5. Again, really cool poster art for these. Really impressed. The side. The back with retro poster art, denoting the contents of the disc and all that. There's your disc with the altered film, your disc with the unaltered film, and your bonus features. And the last film in the trilogy, Return of the Jedi, follows the same artwork and such, or artwork outline as the others do. I'm not too impressed with this poster. It's a little simple. The other ones are more dynamic. They have more characters on them, but this one's okay. I like the retro one better than the front one. Ooh, I forgot to show you the side. Oh no! There we go. Original, no, altered cut version right here. Original cut, bonus disc here. So, like I said, the reason that this set is rare is because everybody pretty much already owned the trilogy by the time that this came out. You either had the 2004 set, you had the 2006 re-releases that came from this, or you were still old and using a VCR, you had a VHS version, or you probably got the version 2005, or, you know, pretty much anybody who was anybody already had Star Wars in 2008. So this set was kind of useless, but my aunt and uncle actually bought this for my brother back in 2008 for Christmas. He doesn't like physical media, he doesn't like films all that much, so it's mine now. And then in 2011, we finally got Star Wars on Blu-ray. I unfortunately don't have that set, the complete saga set. It's awesome, I wish I did. The version I have, though, is a rarer version. It's from 2013. It's a Blu-ray and DVD combo pack. The reason this is rare is because this is the first time and only time the Blu-ray cuts of Star Wars have been released on DVD in a lower format, quality and all that. So, cool, I guess. It's a landmark achievement. Blu-ray plus DVD up there at the top. Vader there with his red lightsaber ignited. Star Wars, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi with their Roman numerals behind it. Simple poster. Back, or the side, Lucasfilm, 20th Century Fox, Star Wars, 4, 5, and 6. DVD logo, Blu-ray logo. Back, UPC code, blurb about the films. 6-disc set, including 3 screenshots, 2 of which are from A New Hope, 1 of those from Empire. Kind of wish they would have included 1 from Jedi. That would have made this more dynamic. Copyright information, special features, and all that. Slide this really cool slipcase off. Same artwork underneath, except the Blu-ray disc logo is now visible. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars. UPC code there, blurb. Oh, there's a screenshot from Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I can't talk today. Same information as on the back of that. Of course, you now have 4 screenshots instead of 3. And then technical specifications for the Blu-ray and for the DVD. Legalese down at the bottom. You also get this little insert here, which is kind of okay, I guess, including cast and crew information. I don't really need that. Just throw it in there for context of the video. There's your Blu-ray disc for A New Hope, Blu-ray for Empire, Blu-ray for Jedi. These are the same Blu-rays that you'll find in the Complete Saga set or the Steelbooks from 2015, I think those were released. Maybe 2016. But these are the same Blu-rays that we've gotten re-released over and over and over again. And then here are your new DVDs. They follow the same trend as the Blu-rays, except they're all black. Don't have a little blue bar on them. They do have the Roman numeral behind the title. There's New Hope, there's Empire, and there's Jedi. One really awesome thing I just noticed when I was setting this up for this little ending portion of this segment, all 3 of these feature Vader for the poster. Pretty much, you've got the Vader helmet back here for this one, and Vader on the front, Vader's helmet here, and Vader almost full body shot there. It's really awesome that they maintain consistency over a couple years. So that's your close-up on the original Star Wars trilogy. Go ahead and transition into the menu tour for this Star Wars trilogy. We won't be taking a look at the VHS tapes because there's no menus to speak of on that, although there are some pretty awesome interviews with Leonard Maltin and George Lucas on all 3 of these tapes. So those are pretty cool if you want to check those out. Won't be showing them here because copyright, but yeah, anyway, I got off track. Menu tour for this version of Star Wars. Alright everybody, here we are for our menu tours of Star Wars, the original trilogy. Now, before we get started and I show you the case and all that, I want to go ahead and get something straight here. I'm not doing menu tours on every single disc that are included in both of the sets that I own. I mean, that would be 12 menu tours in one episode, and it would make this episode go for at least an hour. So I'm not going to do that to you because I know you all don't really want to see that. So instead of doing that, for each release, we're just going to look at one film. Meaning that for this Star Wars Trilogy set here. We're going to have one menu tour for the theatrical version. In this case, we're looking at A New Hope here. There's where your disc would be. And then for the bonus disc, which is the unaltered version, we're going to take a look at the Empire Strikes Back version. And then for the Blu-rays, we're going to take a look at the Return of the Jedi Blu-ray. And then for the DVDs included in it, we're going to round out with A New Hope. So I hope you guys aren't too pissed at me for that, because, well, these menus are pretty much the same. I mean, especially for these released in 2008, I mean, these have the exact same menu layout. Empire Strikes Back has a scene from Empire Strikes Back and same 4 options is there and all that. They're all pretty much the exact same menu. So for A New Hope here, this is of course the 2008 reissued version on DVD, the one that first released in 2004, so it's the 4th time we've gotten this exact same DVD cut. So we have Play Movie, Chapters, Options, and StarWars.com. So Chapters, take a look at that menu here. Each menu has a little animation there, which is kind of cool, I guess. So you've got 50 chapters, all with different subtitles, telling you at what point in the film you're at, like Wookiee prisoner, into a garbage chute, all that good stuff. Let's see what 50 is called, and I guess each chapter little sub-menu has a little animation for it too. Medal ceremony and end credits, you know, all that stuff. Use the Force, Luke. Let's go, Luke. And it'll take us back to the Death Star hangar so we can take a look at options. There are no bonus features included on this DVD. This is just audio options and such. You've got English, Spanish, and French, and an audio commentary with George Lucas. You can also optimize your audio if you have a THX audio setup. So now if we go back to the hangar here, I'm guessing this StarWars.com thing is a trailer for StarWars.com. So let's take a look at it. No, this thing is a key to unlock some cool stuff at StarWars.com. I assume that would play a trailer for StarWars.com, because a trailer for StarWars.com was included on one of the VHS releases. I don't remember which one though. Yeah, that's your menu for the 2008 version of A New Hope. Let's go ahead and move into the 2008 bonus disc version of The Empire Strikes Back. Alrighty, here we are for the bonus disc version of Return. I keep wanting to say Return of the Jedi. It's Empire Strikes Back, you idiot. There's where the disc would be. And as I said, I will tell you that each of the bonus disc versions of these films have the exact same menu layout. They all have classic poster art. You can see on the back of the Empire Strikes Back there. It's this classic poster art that's replicated on the menu. So for something like Return of the Jedi, which we're not going to see in either format, you would get this poster. Actually, hang on. Get this damn thing open. It's actually this poster that you see on the menu for Return of the Jedi bonus disc. Here we go. Empire Strikes Back. Play movie, chapters, options, special features. We actually get a special features menu because there's actually bonus content on this. So this is your scene selection menu. Again, 50 scenes, each with their own little subtitle with Darth Vader's face in space there. Options, audio options are English, French, and Spanish. Just a 2.0 mix for all of these, and subtitles English, and that's it. You can also optimize for a THX sound system. And then special features. Ooh, cool. You can play an Xbox game demo of LEGO Star Wars 2 if you have an original Xbox. There's also a trailer on here. I wonder what the trailer's for. Alright, so the trailer is for LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, which is cool that they put a trailer on there for it. I also want to go ahead and talk about something else. I don't think I mentioned this in either the history section or the close-up section, but each one of these bonus discs are letterboxed widescreen. What that means is, when I get close to the camera here, you might get a glimpse of the face. Hello. See these black bars along the edges around here? This black right here, and I have my hands on it if you can see that, this is part of the picture itself. That cannot be removed. But this black here, And this black over here on the sides, that's being added by the TV to supplement that area that's not being used. Basically, it doesn't fill up your entire screen. The film will look like this too if we could actually play the film, but we can't because copyright. But take my word for it, the film looks exactly like this if you actually try to play those bonus discs on a widescreen television. So that's my issue with letterboxing. It looks awful on modern TVs. So let's take a quick look at the StarWars.com menu. Pretty much the same thing as on the A New Hope version. It's just telling you that, hey, you have access to StarWars.com content. Put this in your computer for that. And I'm not going to do that because probably doesn't exist anymore. This whole release is a decade old. These DVDs themselves are over a decade old at this point. Alright, so now we're going to move into Return of the Jedi. However, I said we're going to look at the Blu-ray of that, but we're actually not going to. We're going to look at the DVD version of Return of the Jedi for this 3-disc or 6-disc combo pack here. Alright, so here we are for the menu tour for Return of the Jedi on DVD from 2013. First time any of the Blu-ray cuts of Star Wars have made it onto a format that's not Blu-ray, a standard definition format, which makes these DVDs themselves quite valuable, in my opinion. I know, I said that DVDs were valuable. Wow. Crazy, right? Lego lover, you hate DVD. I do, because it's a subpar format, but that doesn't mean I can't say they're not valuable. I mean, the 2008 trilogy set's probably the rarest version of Star Wars on DVD currently, and that's because nobody bought them. So, Return of the Jedi has a pretty standard menu for... So, Return of the Jedi's menu is pretty similar to all the other trilogy menus for the Blu-rays and for the DVDs. We have play, setup, and scenes. Setup, of course, will have its own menu because it's a DVD. English, Dolby Digital 5.1, English descriptive audio, Spanish, French, subtitles, just English, and now Spanish. Wow. And then scenes, since there's no audio commentary or bonus features on this, you've got, only 3 options. And 50 scenes as per usual. So that was really short. That's your menu tour, though, for Return of the Jedi. Now we're going to move into the final menu tour, A New Hope on Blu-ray. And now, folks, finally we have come to the end of this menu tour. 4 menu tours in one. HMR, it's a lot, I know, but bear with me here. We're at the last one, and the best quality one, because we're at A New Hope on Blu-ray. We've come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. Good job, me. And already, as I usually say in these, I can tell a difference in picture quality. It looks so much better. But now we have a 4th option now. We've got a commentaries option down there at the bottom for A New Hope. So let's take a look at that. Audio commentary with George Lucas, Carrie Fisher, Ben Burtt, Dennis Muren. But you also have another audio commentary made up from archival clips from interviews with the cast and crew. You can see all of them listed there. I am not reading those to you. You can pause and zoom in on your own. Search is basically just scenes or bookmarks. I still have no idea how bookmarks work, but you can search for scenes here. You've also got the little bar telling you where you are in the film, and 50 scenes, of course. We have 2 options for audio and subtitles: English 6.1 DTS audio, English 5.1 descriptive, in Spanish, French, Portuguese, audio commentary with George Lucas, archive, audio commentary, and that's it for audio. Subtitles, we have English, Spanish, French, Netherlands, Portuguese, Suomi, returning from the Die Hard Blu-ray, whatever the hell that is, Norsk, Dansk, and then commentary. Oh, you can get those as subtitles? That's interesting. Did not know that. And then commentaries in other languages. Yippee. So many commentaries in so many other languages. So many language options. So people can watch Star Wars in whatever language they want. This was a Fox release, so I'm not surprised there are about 1 million different ways you can watch this in 1 million different languages. Which is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying Star Wars should only be in English. Watch it whatever language you prefer. You can watch it in whatever language they speak in the Netherlands. So that is your menu tour for A New Hope on Blu-ray. That's your menu tour for the original Star Wars trilogy. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions as always. Alrighty, Roo, so we're back from the close-up. Now it's time to answer the 5 main questions as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? Star Wars is pretty much still on the shelves nowadays. You can find the Blu-ray reissues of the complete saga from 2015 on shelves. You can even still find the 2011 set at some retailers. I've seen it in stores. The steelbooks are still out there as well if you're interested in those. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? There's not been a recent reissue of the trilogy since 2016. It's been 3 years. I'm going to say no. However, you can still find backstock. Number 3, should you pick this product up? I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible since this HMR has been long enough. We're almost at 20 minutes here on the raw audio, and I'm sure the close-up is probably double that length. So, Star Wars A New Hope. It's a good movie. Real good. I remember when I was younger, I used to tell my mom, I don't want to watch Star Wars. The aliens are stupid. But then I finally sat down and watched it with my parents, who introduced me to it, because they saw Star Wars in theaters, and they were like, hey, this is cool. You should watch this. So I said, fine, Mom, I'll watch it. And I watched it, and I was like, hey, this is pretty daggone good. And it is. Star Wars is a great space opera. It's fun. It's got really good characters. It introduces my favorite Star Wars character of all time, known as Han Solo. And everything about Star Wars is just great. The universe is great. It's vast. It does a great job at world building, even though we only visit 2 planets in it. It's pretty awesome. Despite that, the universe itself feels lived in. It feels like these characters have existed for longer than 20 seconds, which is something the prequels really needed to learn from, but we're not talking about the prequels here, we're talking about Star Wars. And of course, how can I not mention Darth Vader? One of the greatest cinematic villains of all time. He's just so imposing with that suit, that breathalyzer thing. It's amazing. I will say this, though, about Star Wars. Some of the acting can be a little stilted. Mark Hamill's, but I was going to go to the Tashi station and pick up some power converters. Yeah, not a great line. Not really presented well either. But there are few moments like that throughout the film. There's just a couple scenes where the dialogue's a little stilted, and there's a couple scenes where the lightsaber effects don't really hold up. I recall when Luke tries to turn on the lightsaber for the first time, you can totally tell where the film cuts and then where the lightsaber was just pasted in. I mean, there's no, like, extending of the blade. It's just there. But very minor complaints in a film that still looks great on Blu-ray today. I mean, this Blu-ray transfer is amazing. Now we move on to Empire Strikes Back, possibly one of the greatest sequels of all time because it upped the ante. It was darker, it was more intense, it was more adult than Star Wars. Empire Strikes Back just took everything that Star Wars did and did it better. We had better characters, we had better acting, we had a great love story between Han Solo and Princess Leia that I strive to recreate in my personal life. But of course, after she says my hands are dirty, I of course say my hands are dirty too, and then I kiss her. Romance tips. They sometimes work. The Imperial March is badass. I love that in Empire Strikes Back. It's a great theme for the Empire. You know, we never actually got a theme for the Empire in Star Wars. Go back and watch that. The Imperial March is nowhere to be found. There's no theme for the Empire in there. But Empire Strikes Back, we got the Imperial March. And I kind of wish that I had the experience of not knowing that Darth Vader was Luke's father. I already knew it going into seeing Empire for the first time. I actually had it spoiled for me when I was a bit younger. I don't remember how, I just kind of always knew. But I'll tell you this, though. Empire scared the piss out of me when I was a little kid, when I first saw this. The scene where Han Solo gets frozen in carbonite, nightmares. The first night that I saw that, I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. That's scary. Nowadays, I'm like, I'm a man. I can handle that. And the carbonite thing still kind of freaks me out just a little bit, just because of, you know, the spittle running down of Han Solo's face when he's frozen in it. It's a little bit creepy, but no nightmares. I have outgrown that. I'm a man now. Take that, Dad, I amounted to something. But yeah, first time I saw Empire Strikes Back, scared me half to death. But I applaud it for that, because that's what makes it so good. And the fact that it ends on a downer ending, like, people credit Infinity War for doing that. Empire was the first to do it. We had to wait 3 long years. Or the people in the theaters had to wait 3 long years. I didn't have to wait 3 long years. I already had the trilogy. I could pop in Jedi whenever I wanted to. But the people back then, they had to wait 3 long years to find out just what exactly happened. You could honestly say that, like, Avengers Infinity War was kind of like this generation's Empire Strikes Back. That ended on a downer, and me and thousands of other comic fans are waiting to see how exactly Thanos is killed. And the whole, snapping is dealt with. At the time of recording this video, Avengers Endgame has not hit theaters yet. Avengers Endgame is kind of like our Return of the Jedi. Speaking of Return of the Jedi, that's the last film in this trilogy. People don't like this one for some reason. I, for one, think it's great. I think it holds up just as well as the others. I love it just as equally as Star Wars and Empire. I mean, Return of the Jedi is a great conclusion. It's a bit predictable, sure, but it's still great. That fight between Luke and Vader in the Death Star 2, with the Emperor's cackling in the background. Good, Skywalker. Now fulfill your destiny and take your father's place at my side. Ian McDiarmid does a great job as that character. He's amazing as the Emperor. If you will not be turned, you will be destroyed. Zappy zap. Who knew the Sith could shoot lightning from their fingertips? That was a new thing back then. No one knew the Sith could do that. That was cool. And then, of course, the redemption for Darth Vader is pretty awesome. Everything about Star Wars is pretty awesome. So, of course, I recommend you see the whole trilogy. It's a great lived-in universe feel. It's got great characters, great dialogue, great story to it. I just love Star Wars for the fact that the universe is so vast. You know, you have these 3 base films, which are, granted, they're very, very good. But you also have stuff like Rebels, Clone Wars, the prequels, the sequels. You have so many other things that exist in this Star Wars universe. It just feels ever-growing and ever-changing. There's something in this universe for everybody. That's the reason I love it so much. It's because you could find literally anything. You want pirates? Sure, we got pirates. We got Hondo Ohnaka. We are pirates. We don't even know what that means. Open fire. You want wolf people? You got that too. You want literally anything? Any type of alien. It's probably in the Star Wars universe. But these base 3 films are what started it all, and I gotta give them credit for that. I gotta give credit to George Lucas for that. This universe is amazing. These 3 films are amazing, and I highly recommend you see them. And I, of course, highly recommend you check out the Blu-ray cuts, because the Blu-ray cuts, God, these look amazing. I don't care for many of the Blu-ray changes, but I can tolerate it for this great of picture quality. I mean, they looked great on my 4K TV. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? Anywhere you can find it. You can still find it on store shelves. Target, Walmart, Best Buy. And number 5, what price should you pay? Well, that is an interesting question. It's a little bit hard to give prices on these since a lot of the Star Wars stuff is overpriced. The steelbooks are like $20 a piece. No thanks. Maybe they've come down in price since they came out in 2015, but like the complete saga, overpriced at $90. I'd say for the original trilogy pack from 2013, which is the version I have, $25 to $30 for that, honestly. That's pretty daggone good. You get those cool DVDs included if you're into that sort of thing. Also, the set from 2011, if you're just looking for the trilogies and you don't care about bonus content, those are pretty awesome to pick up too. And those you can probably still find on places like eBay. $20 for those, since they don't come with the DVD. But the complete saga set, that's the one you should probably get, because it's got all 6 films, great bonus content on those 3 discs. I'd actually say go upwards of $60 to $70 for that. $90 is pushing it, but $60 to $70 would be the best price for that. I'm not going to say something crazy like, oh, you should look for one that's $20, because you're never going to find one for that price. So that's the very long HMR for Star Wars, the original trilogy. God, I am so loopy right now. It is so hot in this closet. I've been recording for the last hour. I recorded 2 HMRs in one night. That was a mistake. Next week, I mentioned pirates in this HMR. And they got me thinking, what's a really good pirate film? There's not really a lot of them out there, but I thought, why don't we take a look at the original Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, one of my favorite films to watch over the summertime. You know, when the skies are blue and the oceans are ripe for sailing. Yo ho ho, in a bucket of prawns, the tiller spins, you know? So that's next week, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Hope you guys are excited for that. I'm gonna go take a nap now. I'll see y'all next week. As always, thank you for watching. The Force will be with you. Always.